welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the wonderful British summertime. You'll notice between the B-roll that I filmed with this and now, it has absolutely chucked it down. So I've just been sat in my car for 45 minutes, staring out the window, waiting for it to stop. The glamorous life of a YouTuber. However, today we are taking the E93 out for a spin because I've got it some little presents, I've got some upgrades, and I've got some updates with this car. And I've also not driven it around full chat with its new exhaust yet. Shameful, I know. The exhaust has been on there about 6 months. So we're gonna jump out in the car, I'm gonna stick GoPros all around it, I'm gonna give that V8 a good bit of beans. And I'm also gonna update you because I've got some bits for this car to make it a little bit more London friendly, shall we say, and make it handle a little bit better as well. So first things first then, if you didn't catch the updates on this car, whereby carbon was fitted there, around the side there, around here on the mirrors, and also on the front splitter there, we've now got carbon all over the car. Presumably you caught that update, and also spacers. However, now this car looking slightly flashier than it once did, is going to make it a target for thieves in the UK, well, particularly London, and particularly the wheels, because they're very easy to get off. Now, a common misconception is that a locking wheel nut means that the wheels are locked on there. Yes, it can mean a bit of a faff when you go to a garage to get your tyres changed and you haven't got the locking wheel nut there. However, locking wheel nuts are outdated, and there's loads of tips, tricks, master keys and all sorts that can actually get your wheels off. So someone can pinch my wheels very, very easily, which is very annoying. However, I've just got this, ladies and gentlemen, from a company called Rimgard. This nifty kit here from Rimgard actually goes on your wheels and secures your wheels, so they are locked from within and they fit on. You won't be able to see them. They literally, I've obviously gone for gloss black here. They go on there, the OEM center cap goes on, you won't know they're there, and it stops people getting to your wheel bolts. As you can see, that pops straight on there, center cap goes on, no one's any the wiser, except no one can nick your wheels. They are extremely, extremely strong. The locking mechanism is actually from a company, Assa Abloy, which most of you will actually recognize on many, many keys. They are basically the leaders in locks worldwide, and these locks actually go in here and stop your wheels being nicked. So they go in there, the center cap goes on top, and no one can nick your wheels. Great stuff. They're relatively inexpensive, and obviously getting your wheels nicked costs you thousands and thousands of pounds. So they are going to go onto the car very soon. I'm going to fit them on. They're actually really easy to fit as well. So huge shout out to Rimgard. They make them for all sorts of models, so BMW, Audi, etc. They're quality tested by TUV and anti-theft tested by Rise as well. And they're also made from highly resistant 6082 aluminium alloy. So all amazing stuff, and that'll just mean that my car is not on bricks when I come back to it, because I am going to start using this a lot more over the summer. It's been in storage over the winter months, but it's coming back out, and it's going to be parked on the street sometimes, sometimes in the countryside, and sometimes in London as well. So anyway, all very exciting stuff, but I suspect you probably want to hear it. So let's fire up, we'll go for a little spin. I'm going to give you an update with this car and give you my plans on what I'm going to do to it next, and whether or not I'm even going to hold on to it long term. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Chuck it in M mode. Why not? If I have a shunt, I might get some views. Right then, this has probably been, I would say, 2 or 3 months since I've driven this. I should drive it more. Downshift. You got to go a little bit steady today because it's a bit wet on the road, and this being 400 and something brake horsepower through V8 through the back wheels, it's not the best idea to get too ham-footed. I'll never get bored of those downshifts. So, as many of you will know, I changed the exhaust on this. I did the OEM exhaust mod not so long ago. I did the OEM exhaust mod, and that involved taking the standard box, going to a guy called Modstock, and he actually put straight through pipes within the standard exhaust. So it looks standard from the outside, he actually chops in from the top, and when he bolts it in, you look from the underneath, you can't actually tell anything's been done at all. And what that does is it just forces the air through and makes it sound absolutely ridiculous. I mean, listen to this. It's a breath of fresh air, or rather, ironically, not a breath of fresh air. In a day and age where every single car sounds like a Hoover and a fart mixed together, it just sounds absolutely ridiculous. Call me a child, but I'm never ever going to get bored of those downshifts. Oh, here we go. It's the best thing. Whoa. We lost traction. See, we're only doing 40 miles an hour, but I nearly died on the way there, and it sounded incredible. In any other modern car, you'd be doing 180 by now. So I think that's the key to this car, really. You don't do mental speed. It's not, by modern standards, a really fast car anymore. It's not super fast. It's not super torquey. In fact, the V8's been accused of being a little bit gutless mid-range, but it's just that right amount of power, which you can still get it wrong. You can get it wrong deliberately, and you can still enjoy it just about on UK public roads. There are a couple of gripes though. The exhaust mod, it's not for everyone. Cold start in a residential area, it's not nice. The cold start on this thing is offensive. It sets off alarms, and it's not something I would probably recommend anyone doing other than someone that has underground car parking storage, you know, in a huge kind of NCP type car park away from people's homes. If you need to get in this thing and go to work in it early in the morning, or in fact any time of day on your driveway where there's houses nearby, I would probably avoid getting the Modstock modification done. You can play around with it and change the volume of the mod, but I would say probably try and avoid it if you've got any form of dwelling near your house, because it is seriously offensive. Once it comes off choke and the revs drop, it does become slightly more palatable. You've got at least 2 minutes of rattling every single person's house. So yeah, I would probably dodge it, but it is fun. If you live out in the countryside, or you just don't care about your neighbours, it's so rude. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And even if you get evicted from your house, who cares? It sounds absolutely amazing. That V8 is a joke. And obviously the new M3s, new M4s, new M2s, they all sound like farts. So this really is the last proper sounding M car. So you'll notice I've got the DCT box. It's a good box, it's dual clutch, it stands up to the test of time quite well actually. Even by modern standards, it's still a pretty good gearbox. There's no gripes with it whatsoever. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a car from 2013. Well, it's nearly 8 years old now. Doesn't feel like that whatsoever. The handling, however, does leave a little bit to be desired. It does feel a little bit wobbly, a little bit soft, a little bit disconnected. That could be down to the fact I've got the cab, the roof comes off this one. Could be down to the fact I've got the wrong tyres, but also I think it may be down to the fact that I don't have the upgraded EDC suspension in this. The car's a little bit old, and I think it could do with a little bit of an upgrade. So I've actually had a delivery from a company called Max Speeding Rods. Many of you will have seen these guys online, and they offer very affordable coilover suspension. So I've actually got a box of them. They're in the box right there, but I've done a little unboxing. So within the box, we've got these new dampers. They're actually fully adjustable, not only ride height wise, but also you can adjust the damping on them as well. Many of you will remember I got spacers put on the car, but it still felt like the ride height just wasn't quite right. And a load of you picked up on the ride height on the car and said, TG, drop the car a little bit, it still looks a little bit jacked up. The spacers brought the wheels out, but they're actually still looking a little bit jacked up. There's a lot of wheel gap in there, so get some coilovers, drop the car slightly, and I didn't want to drop it permanently, I wanted to put some coilovers on that can actually adjust. They are a very affordable solution, so I'm going to check them out, I'm going to get them fitted and see how they come out on the car. I'm in a built up area now. Let's offend everyone. They hated that. I am an absolute pig. I'm so sorry, everyone. Everyone hates me. Everyone absolutely hates me. $20–30 miles an hour, you can still be an absolute yob. Brilliant. Anyway, so long-term plans for this car. Many of you be aware of why I bought this car, so I'm not going to harp on about that. However, long-term plans for this car, I don't see myself selling it anytime soon. The values on these things are picking up. They're getting stronger and stronger, and I'm getting an increase in the amount of people that actually pull up next to the car and say, love it, give you compliments, take photos of it. And I think this generation of E-Series M3 is really coming into its own. So there's no real incentive for me to get rid of this. It's not really costing me anything. Servicing's not much at all. It's done 25,000 miles. Brilliant. I'm not going to drive it a huge amount. I'm not going to drive it quite as much as I probably should. There's plenty of other things in the garage. I bought this car more for sentimental reasons than to hoon around every single day. It's very thirsty to drive every day. But it will get some use this summer. The roof's going to come off, and I'm definitely going to barrel around and annoy as many people with it as possible. So it's going to get some use, but towards the end of the summer, I'm going to put it into a storage, and then I'll get it out again, probably again for some summer months. So it's going to be plugged in on trickle charge on my C-Tech, and that's going to be it really. Further modifications then, bar the coilovers, probably going to leave it alone. I might get something done with the tech inside. Apparently you can do CarPlay or get the tech updated within the standard screen like I've done on my SLS, so I may well do that. But other than that, no real incentive to do anything with the car other than look after it, keep it serviced, and yeah, sit on it indefinitely really. I paid 25 odd grand for it. It's probably worth about 28, 30 now with this mileage, with this low owners, and the fact that it hasn't been modified to high heaven and destroyed. So yeah, I feel like I'm in a fairly good place on this car, and it's great to have it back in the garage still. So yes, that's that, I think. Oh, we're gonna do it again. One of my favorite things as well about this car is you can drop the whole side. The whole side is pillarless there, which means when you're being a yob, you can get that kind of surround sound effect. Alternatively, you can just put the windows up and subject everyone else to it. Anyway, on that immature note, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out Rimgard, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, from myself and my BMW M3, and this kind of short hoon whilst the weather holds out. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, blah, 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 and I'll see you all very soon. Bye!